Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Mo Cali, Niger TV, all the way here in Los Angeles, California.
Yeah, this is Yusuf Mokali Niger TV podcast from KD, Kaduna, Nigeria, West Africa. How y'all doing?
Hey, I hope everybody's out there doing great, man. So what do we got on the topic today on the menu?
Yeah, I think let's talk about the Oyo State school abduction that
Whoa,
they
hot
uh,
topic.
they kidnapped. Yeah, they kidnapped a couple of kids from school and some of their teachers. You know, there was a rescue mission that was carried out, and they got rescued. They're back. You know,
Yeah,
so
we saw that
these
on the
kind of
news.
things, yeah, these kind of things keep you wondering more, Kali, like how safe are kids now? Well, like yesterday I noticed the particular school that got its teachers and students kidnapped resumed yesterday. After all this while, since after the abduction, the school I think was shut down,
Has
but
been
they
closed.
resumed
Yes.
classes
How
yesterday.
long? They
Yeah.
were in captivity for like what, 50 something days, right? Or 40 something days?
Yes. Yeah, almost 2 months, like more than a month though.
More than a month, yeah. About almost 2 months.
Yeah, yeah. No,
And
so
they were taken while
one
they were in
one
school.
yes.
In
It
Oyo State,
keeps you wondering.
Obogmosho, right? Obogmosho.
Yeah, yeah. It keeps you wondering how safe kids are these days in schools. And then people like boarding schools and all of that. Is it even advisable to take your kids to boarding houses anymore?
Yeah.
Since all this Chibok kidnapping started, I don't know, like things just changed.
Just
I
spiraled out
don't
of
think
yeah,
I would.
you're right. Since then.
Yeah,
And
since
now it has
then,
spread
there's
across the
been
country
one,
because that started in the northwest
yeah,
by northeast by Boko Haram,
northeast, yeah, yeah,
northeast, and then it spread all over to the northwest, and it became a rampant
north
thing in the
central too,
northwest, north
yeah,
central.
north
Now that is
central,
the southwest.
southwest, and then in the southeast, well, that one, the kidnappings have been going on for as long as I can remember. They
Yeah.
kidnap people, rich men, and but
Yeah,
it's
rituals.
just
They kidnap people
yeah,
for ritual sake in the southeast, right?
everywhere, even in the southwest, south, even in parts of the north. But like
Yeah.
this issue, we're talking about school kids. It's
Yes.
definitely going to have an effect on the education. And
Yes.
we complain about out of school children and all of that. With this kind of things happening, I'm sure a lot of kids, you won't blame them if they don't want to go to school because they're
Yes.
not safe there. So what do you think? Should the government be posting out security personnel to guard schools too?
Well,
As it is,
man,
as
well,
it
the
is
school issue
already,
to me. Yeah, go ahead.
there's a deficit in the number of policemen to citizens. Even
Yeah.
the military, there's a serious shortage. We need
Yeah.
more police
Yeah.
personnel, security.
Oh,
So
man.
if we start
Hmm.
deploying them to schools, what do you think?
Well, me already, to begin with, the condition of the schools are already terrible. That's the first and foremost thing. Because if you look at the schools itself, many of these schools are dilapidated. If you see the schools, some of
Through
them, they don't have
the,
ceilings, they don't have tables, they don't have
the
chairs,
classrooms?
they don't
Oh,
have anything to use for they don't have anything that's a conducive environment for learning. So before
hmm,
we even talk about securing the schools themselves are in such a poor state. These children and these teachers are in a terrible working environment. Of course,
hmm.
security is not enough for the country as it is. Generally, there's not enough security, there's not enough police, there's not enough military personnel, even though that should not be the job of the military. The job of the
Yeah,
military has become the civilian they've now taken over civilian roles, which they are not supposed to be
True.
doing. We're vulnerable at this point. The country is vulnerable because
True.
the military is overstretched internally,
It is.
protecting within the country. So external threats can have a field day with Nigeria if they really come in and they have
True.
backing. Nigeria is at a weak state right now, and we're
Hmm.
disunited. We're completely disunited. For us to be united to fight about against any common enemy, you know, it's
I
only
agree
now
with
that
you.
the citizens have been waking up and demanding more and been insisting. That's why we have this issue of the state police, because the pressure has been so on about internal security that the state governors are always held to account to all these things that are happening. Why are they not? Why are they not effective? Why are the state governors not doing what they are supposed to do? And they're always saying that they can't do anything because they don't control the security of their state. It comes from the federal government, from the center. It comes from the president. It comes from the IG. They
Hmm.
cannot instruct anything to be done. All they can do is buy equipment and help to facilitate with vehicles, which they're always buying vehicles. I don't know what they are doing with these vehicles. It's always vehicles, you know? So this issue of
You
state
see,
police is at the forefront now. So it's not going to be a
yes.
silver bullet, but I think it's a start in the right direction, you know? Just the parameters
You
of it
see,
is the problem.
like you said earlier about, I want to go back to what you said about the disunity in Nigeria. You see, this issue we brought up, this abduction in Oyo State, stirs a lot of, uh, sense of duty,
Sentiment. Oh,
sense
sense
of
of
duty
duty.
from the
Okay.
government to its
Mm-hmm.
citizens. There are a lot of people that brought, they brought their own argument that at the same time the Oyo State abduction occurred, I think it was the same day or about a day interval, similar happened in Borno State. They
Borno
went to a
State.
school,
Yes. Yeah.
abducted like 40 something, and then
Yes.
the effort which the government put in to make sure the Oyo State children were rescued,
Yes.
according to those agitating, was not put
For the
in
no
that
for the
of
Borno.
exactly, because is it because the president is from the southwest, you know
Yes.
so
I think the media
all these
coverage
things.
also matters because there's not been as much media pressure and public pressure like the one of the Southwest. You know,
Yes.
I think the pressure from the media, because if you notice, like during the Chibok time, when that thing happened,
Mm.
it became a
Save,
global affair. So it was top and
true.
foremost thing of the government because it was such a political nightmare for the Goodluck administration at the time.
Station.
So they were putting in a lot of effort, even though they did not really succeed in the mission, but they
Exactly.
show
That
political will at the time.
will.
Because remember, they were denying
That's
it at first. Remember,
mm,
they were denying that it even occurred. But
yes.
when the international world got a hold of it, it was all over the country, all over the world. That's when they bring back our girls hashtag
Yes.
erupted
But
all
you
over the
see,
planet.
like I said, yeah, you were right. Pressure that was put on the government, but they still didn't get to bring them back.
Yes, yes,
So it's about effort, actually. Like you said, they made effort,
yes,
even though, you know so
yeah,
there are a lot of issues. This unity of a thing you talked about, honestly,
yeah.
we need
And this
to
is the
we
only
need
one in this case that you heard that they arrested the criminals, the bandits, they killed some of them. This is the only time you've heard that, because all the previous times that they said they did rescue operations, you don't hear about. You just see that they returned the victims. They said that they
yeah.
rescued them, but we have not seen any bodies. We have not heard of any arrest. We didn't see any
Mm,
evidence of a gunfight. Especially in this day and age
mm.
that you have body cameras, you have helmet cameras, you have. They don't ever show dramatic rescue like this one. They made a Hollywood movie out of it. They basically made a Hollywood blockbuster
True,
film out
true.
of this rescue. And even then, they did not show us the firefight. We did not see any firefight take place. We can only hear that they said that the bandits, they said that the bandits released the captives because of pressure. They released the captives. Okay, where
You see,
is the people that they arrested, and where is the proof of the bodies that they killed? Because in all other
exactly.
instances they are quick to post it online, troops neutralized,
Yes.
so many so
True.
bandits, and then they'll put a blur over their body. And how do we even know those people are even really killed? It's just like some
That's
movie that
true.
we watched in the past, a mafia movie, where when you pay your debt, they will now tell you to lay down. They'll put blood on your face, snap pictures, so that way they'll put you in an album to show the next victim they want to scare to pay their balance. They'll say, "Look what will happen to you." Look. Then after they snap picture, they'll tell him, "Oh yeah, get up, get going, get on your way, since you have paid your debt." You know, me, that's what I'm
That's true.
feeling. Unfortunately, when I see those
No,
pictures and
but
I see blur out, I'm like, how do we even know that they
the,
are actually bandits that were killed?
Bokali, you need to give our security agents their much deserved credits, because a lot of them get caught up in the line of fire, a lot of them die, a lot of
Yes,
them, they get to neutralize these bandits too as well. It's
yes.
just that the frequency of the occurrence, it's too
It's the
much that
leadership that I
even
have a
if the
problem with,
victory,
not the
yeah,
security itself. Because I know our soldiers, our troops, our men and women of the
yes,
armed forces. We have very good policemen, police women. We have
gallant
very good
one,
gallant
soldiers,
ones.
yeah,
Is the
true.
leadership is the problem? You know, who are the people giving instructions to withdraw from certain areas right before a key attack?
So the Minister of Defense, uh, retired General Christopher Musa, said something about now the other ranks of the Nigerian army will now start getting like 100,000
Mm-hmm.
naira as salary. You know,
How much
that's
was it before?
demoralizing. These are guys
Or
that
currently, how much is it?
obviously it wasn't up to 100,000. So one sits and questions vocally. Just imagine these bandits, these terrorists, these
Yes.
Boko Haram, whatever they are, you know, they pay
Wow.
their men in dollars. They recruit people. Yeah, they recruit people, they recruit even like soldiers who
Yes.
who went AWOL, that
Yes.
ran away from their duty post. Don't you think even the poor remuneration, the poor salaries they pay these guys will make them want to snitch
Yes.
and give away
Yeah.
locations of their
Yeah.
compadres? Like there are a lot of things that are really wrong. Like in
Yeah.
principle, a lot of things are wrong with the way we run things in Nigeria, and that's to say why a
Yeah.
lot of things are going bad, because you don't just you don't
Yeah.
just underpay these guys, you don't pay
Yeah.
them good money, and then they live in barracks. As soon as they get caught up in the line of fire, they die. Just give it a few days, there's somebody wanting to take
If
their place,
their
they will
families
they
from the
will evacuate
barracks.
their family
Yeah, and they
from the
have
barrack
nowhere to
and
go.
put it, so on.
Yeah, it's the same thing
It's
as the
honestly, it
students at the
doesn't tell
schools. The
well.
schools are
It's
dilapidated. The barracks of the soldiers are dilapidated. They don't have
yes.
enough weapons. They don't have enough
Even the
bullets. They don't have enough
police,
ammunitions to go and
yes,
fight. You know, they are sending them to just go and die. Look at the general that
yeah,
was killed because his vehicle wasn't a armored. It wasn't an armored
honestly,
personnel. It wasn't bulletproof. He
yes,
died inside the vehicle that got blown up.
true.
A general, a serving general on the battlefield.
Hmm.
You know, you never
Imagine,
hear of a general just getting killed, like
yeah,
of any country, just a general get killed, let
no,
alone several generals,
oh,
retired generals have been kidnapped and killed.
with with the with the knowledge those guys
Hmm.
have in their heads, their assets, even
They've
while
even made
retired, their
mention,
assets,
suggestions that
because
some
they can
generals,
do a lot.
retired personnel that have been retired, they should dig back deep and bring them back. A lot of them say they are willing to serve, they're willing to come back and serve
Yes,
the country. You know, so the
yes,
issue of this say police is not a
their
silver bullet.
assets.
It's not the best, but it's a step in a right direction that I believe. All they need to do is have this check. We've talked about this in the past
Yeah,
during our previous podcast about
you
state
know,
police, and now they have come to
sessions.
that point
Yes,
since the last
you,
time we discussed it. Now it's here, you know.
you know, you know, Mokali, I want us to talk about one issue before we really move into this state police issue. Earlier, we were talking about these Chibok girls, and you brought about awareness and this Oyo state kidnapping, the way the media buzz was took. That was like it's been the reason why government had a lot of pressure on it and it did something. I watched somebody from the north, one of these influencers, he said something about protests. Whenever there's a protest like that,
Yes,
NSAS and all of those, you find out that the north
in it.
hardly participates
Yes,
in all of
yeah,
those kind of things. Yeah, so the guy was bringing about reasons why northern, whenever issues arise like that, that there's supposed to be a national
yes,
protest and all of that, the north doesn't participate. He was bringing points like, whenever you want to organize a protest, you have to go and get permission from the Department
yes,
of State
yes.
Services, DSS, and the police, probably even get a
Mm-hmm.
court, whatever, so that way you'll be held liable if there is
Mm,
any anomaly that goes on while the
yes,
protest is taking place. So most times in the south, when these things happen, they're very organized. They're people. To cut the long story short, the awareness and the education of the people there makes it possible for it
yes.
to go on successfully. Whereas here in the north, when you organize such things, there's always an issue
Hoodlums
or two
hijack it. Yeah,
about
mostly hoodlums will.
vandalization.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes, vandalization. Like there was one that happened some like 2 years ago, I think, about I don't know, I've forgotten actually. There was this protest that
It
happened
was
that
the one with
they
the
tried to
Russian
even vandalize a
collusion when
bank.
they were waving Russian flags, right?
A flag, yes, exactly. Yes, so they tried to even break into a bank
In
along
Kaduna.
Tudunwada side, cars were burnt. Yes,
Yes,
that's near
yes,
Poly,
yes,
main campus, Kaduna Polytechnic. There's this, is it
yes.
Fidelity Bank or so that they tried to break into, cars, they vandalized cars. Even amongst the protesters, you find out that they tried to rob them. They robbed some of
Mm,
them of their
mm-mm.
phone, rape, and all of that. So, so like according to the guy that did the podcast, he was talking about, okay, is it him that will organize all
Then
this,
be
take
liable,
permission,
yeah,
and
for all those
they will hold
things.
him liable
Yeah.
for all these things that happen? What will he say? How will he, So these are some of
Yeah.
the factors that
But what about
make
the
it
collusion of the
difficult
police? That
for
sometimes some of these
demonstrations.
vandals, these guys who disrupt the protests, what about when they say some of times they even come in police vehicles, police trucks, bring them and drop them off? What about those instances that has happened? Yes, a lot of these
The
thugs,
vandals.
hoodlums, they're backed by the police.
So you see, those, I think those ones were about people that accused the state government of being complicit, because most of these demonstrations, there are stuff
Mm-hmm.
that government wouldn't want. So the state government will say it is the opposition that are sponsoring
Yeah.
those demonstrations. So these guys then allege that the state governments are the ones in collaboration with the police. They are the ones backing, they are the ones that are making things difficult for them. That's why you have the police dropping
Yeah.
hoodlums. They are in collaboration with the hoodlums.
Yeah, but I
So
think that
yeah,
that's
you know,
that is another problem, is that when they do say that, they're going to be liable and this and that. You have the element of the state forces or the government backed forces that they will sponsor hoodlums just to create this chaos so that they can say, you see, we told you so. We told you that this thing will get out of line, this thing will
Yes.
get out of hand, because it's the police that are supposed to protect the protest. So when there's hoodlums trying to break into a bank in all of this, it's the police that are supposed to take action and step in and take action and apprehend those people, you know? So trying to hold those liable for the protest when it's the police who are supposed to protect the protesters, it's an oxymoron. It makes no sense because the police are supposed to be the ones protecting the
It doesn't
protesters because
really.
it's a constitutional right to protest and be protected by the police. In fact, the police are supposed to
It
even
is.
be in front of the protest, clearing the roads, making sure the protest route that you're
Because
going on is clear
yeah.
from anybody coming in to obstruct any opposition
Because
to come and attack your protest. And even your own people, you shouldn't attack the opposition
because the
if they line up, because sometimes you have counter protesting. So they keep them separated. The police stay in the middle and keep them divided, you know? So they just create these terms because they
that's
don't
true.
want protest. They don't want anybody to call out anything that they are doing wrong. And at the end of the day, they don't want accountability. They don't want anybody holding them accountable. And that is what is going to take to change anything that's
True.
going on. So, like you said, the first thing is they don't like unity. They don't
Yeah.
want us to be united. This Oyo thing brought a lot of unity and brought
Yes.
disunity at the same time because they start blaming the Southerners and all these other people start laying blame on the northern Nigeria, laying so many accusations against the North, you know, because not all, but a lot of the kidnappers are of Fulani descent. But um, but they're not,
No, unfortunately,
but they
that's
are not
not
all. They're not.
completely. See, if you look at it this way, Mokali, the kidnappings that take place in northwest Nigeria, I think that's the stronghold for Fulani. Mostly are Fulani, Katsina, Zamfara, Sokoto,
Yes,
parts of Kaduna, Kebbi. Yes, those ones. Then when you go to Borno State and Yobe State, this Boko Haram,
yes,
they are
yes.
Kanuri, you know. And then the ones in Oyo State, I think those ones are not Fulani, they are Yoruba. So mostly they
Of
recruit
Fulani of
people
that
of
region. Oh, they recruit
that
people
region.
of the Yoruba. Hmm.
Yes, it's not Fulani. Yes, the kidnappers of this Oyo has
Well, a
it been
lot of them they
proven
were
that they are
on
Fulani?
camera. They were on camera. When they brought out their victims and they were talking. They seem of Fulani descent. But what I'm saying is that it's not
Oh,
only Fulani. It has been stereotyped. It has been
no,
stereotyped.
it's
Fulani
not.
have been stereotyped that they are
Yes.
the ones doing the kidnapping. And we need more opposition to these things from our northern leaders or our northern clerics. Of recent, that is what clerics have been calling on death penalty for them, which is what should have happened long ago. Show an example, because even Islamically,
Yeah.
they are going around being labeled as jihadist. What is a jihadist? This word is just being peddled
True.
around like
Honestly.
people don't even understand the word
Yes.
because the Western world has already made that word yeah, they've stereotyped that word and
Stereotype.
made it into something that is evil. And even these guys, they don't fight in the
Negative.
name of
Evil.
religion. They don't fight in the name of God. There's nothing about
Most
God
of
with
these
this. They don't
most
have a
of them don't
religion. They
have
don't
a
pray. They
religion.
don't do.
That's true.
I mean, many times they're capturing people. They're capturing people
No.
taking drugs, alcohol, all these substances to
Of
them,
course.
to them
What would you say about the attacks
in
on
the
people in the
mosque
mosque
praying.
praying? These people
They
attack
bomb a
people that are
mosque while
praying in the
people are
mosque, killing
praying
them
during fasting.
during fasting.
Yes,
People are
exactly,
fasting, you're still killing them,
exactly. Nothing to
so
do with
it
Islam, but
doesn't really
because it
add up.
helps
It
to
doesn't
cause
add up.
division, and the politicians
Yes.
thrive on division because that's how they get elected. by creating the boogeyman instead of, because
Mm-hmm.
look at what we are talking about in the southwest, that there were actually a king, a chief or oba that was, and his wives, right? That was involved in Kwara, that
Yeah, in
was
Kwara.
involved in the Kwara killings that happened in those two
Yes.
villages that we discussed on that on one of our last
True.
podcasts. There was an Oba and his wife that was
Yes.
involved in it. They were behind it.
True.
So
Wife.
imagine
True.
somebody
That's
who
true.
is a leader of his community is behind the murder, the killing, the rape of his of members of his
Of
community,
members of the
and he has been
community.
exposed. And just like you know it, the matter will be swept under the rug. That is exactly what will happen because already it started getting
Yep.
quiet.
Did you did you see did you see the video of one House of Reps member in Plateau State that was talking about an eye for an eye? These people, when they arrest them, they should just kill them. And then his colleagues in the National Assembly were booing him. They were
Oh
telling him
wow,
to
I
keep
didn't
quiet
see.
and
No, I
sit down.
didn't. I didn't get
You
to
didn't
see
see that video?
that particular video
Wow.
from
Honorable
Plateau
Gagdi, I
State.
think he's from Plateau State.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about, yeah, he was talking about him. He feels they should just kill these guys. There's no such thing as a
Terrible.
repentant bandit. They should,
Yeah.
rehabilitate them. They kill
Mm.
people, so they should be killed,
Well, no
you
wonders
know.
never fail because the National Assembly, they are not doing what they are supposed to do, in my opinion. So, in fact, most levels of government, all these, they're all in the same, they're all rubbing each, scratching each other's backs. So that's why they protect each other. They don't really, the ones that speak up, they silence them, as you said, they silence them, they boo them, they off your mic. They don't want to hear it, you know? So when institutions
Yes.
are headed by these type of people, they faint. You know, you're in a hearing, they faint. They'll say off your mic. They're like saying that the money that you're accusing me of stealing, that is your guys that have been making me to. They're off your mic, off his mic. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. What do you mean it's okay? They don't want him to keep talking.
Mokali, about all these things that have been going on, like you said, the state police is not actually going to be like a silver bullet, but it will be a start, it will be a way forward. But like I said in our last podcast that we brought up this state police topic, thank God I watched an interview with one legal
Yes,
luminaire, one old lawyer, I think he was
yes,
a
yes,
judge or
yes,
so,
yes. I
Justice
saw it.
Odin Kalu. He brought he brought proof. I think during, was it Obasanjo's
Yes,
time as the civilian president, that was when this issue of state police came up. Even it got to a point that I think they said for 4 years they were going
yes.
to be
Every year.
recruiting
Yes,
10,000 policemen for 4 years. Yeah, during, I think Tafa Balogun
yes,
was the IG, Inspector General of Police back then. So Justice Odin Kalu said something about there's this late MD Yusuf. He was among the earliest Inspector General of Police
yes,
of Nigeria from independence. I think he was Inspector
yes,
General in the 60s or so. They got him to write, like, it was like a job they gave him to
yes.
do, to recommend, like, some recommendations. And then according to Odin Kalu, the points he brought are the same things
Mm-hmm.
I express fear over, that a lot of bad
Yes.
people are going to get
Into the police
recruited
force. Yeah.
into the police force. Because, yes, because you see, that time, during that Tafa Balogun time, during Obasanjo's time, according to Odikalu, like, a lot of political thugs
Yes.
got recruited into the police force. And if you look at that time to
How many
now,
years?
it's
Like
more
20
than
years.
how many
Yeah.
years?
Yeah.
Obasanjo left office in 2007, so those guys must have grown now in the
Yes.
force. Their ranks have increased, in the force. So it was just what I was telling you, that if we agreed to this, a lot of state governors are going to use
Yes.
these guys as their muscle to keep
Yeah.
down opposition or to ensure, you know,
Yeah.
what they want gets done. So it is not something new. And even in this issue, there was something I saw some days ago, that there was a committee that was set up on this state police issue. A committee like this had 13 members. According to the writer, the author of the article I read, 8 were from the southwest, 2 were from the north central, Plateau State and Nasarawa State, and then I think the remaining were from the southeast. None was from the south-south. The issue is this, Mokali. If we're talking about insecurity in Nigeria now, you have to bring up the
Mm.
northwest and the northeast. So from experience, I think people from those regions
Yes.
will
Yeah.
have a lot to say. You know, south, they had what were they called, those guys that were bunkering, oil bunkering, and the
The
what
Niger
was their
Delta,
name
the
back
Niger
then when
Delta
theirs was
militants.
happening. I mean, all I'm trying to
Yes.
say is, yes, militants. Thank you very much. So experience, people from those regions have had close contact and whatever experience with such things, that they
Mm-hmm.
can give a lot of input to this matter. But unfortunately, when the committee was set up, people from
Were not
those
involved.
three
Yeah, they were
regions
excluded.
were excluded. So, yeah, so it brings us to the
There's
matter
supposed to be a
of,
civilian oversight,
trying to
because if you
separate
take the
our heads
model of
and cause.
like here, like in the US, you have civilian oversight on these, like in police commission, you have a
Yes,
police commission, and the police commission is supposed
yes,
to be
there is
involved
here
with
too.
with
There is
civilians.
here too.
So we should have like senior advocates of Nigeria. There should be in that police commission. We should have senior advocates from each region of the country to make
The
up the police
committee,
commission. Yes, yes, and each
retired,
state should even have its
retired
own for
civil
the state
servants.
police. And then there should be a federal oversight. That is the whole point. The whole
Hmm.
problem is that we don't have the proper oversight because the executive, they want to hijack and keep it in their pocket, and the federal government will assist them in doing it. Because even as of now, the state governors, they still utilize the police to their advantage. And if they're not the one in the ruling party, if they're not the
Yes,
one in the
true,
in the head of the ruling party of the presidency, they find it difficult. The police become a problem to them. They become their opposition. They, just like in the case of Rotimi Amechi
true.
when he was governor of Rivers State. You remember there was a time he was trying to go to the government house and they blocked the
Hmm.
road of the government house during Goodluck Jonathan's time. You remember he was complaining. He even called. He
True.
even said that I cannot even pass the
Yes,
road to go to
yes.
my house.
He was
They
the
have blocked it,
governor.
and they said
Yes,
that it's a order from above. And
true,
this is the
true.
governor of the state. So who is
So
the who is
yes,
responsible for that? The
true.
head. And the reason because of this is because
Hmm.
the legislature is not doing their job. There's supposed to be an oversight in checks and balances to all of this through the legislature and the judiciary. The judiciary seems to be hijacked currently. I'm sorry to say. Everything they will say, let it go to court. Let them go to court. Let's hear what
That's
happens
true.
in court. Me, I don't have confidence in the
Hmm.
Nigerian judicial system. I'm sorry to say. The judiciary has not is not
Anymore.
is
Hmm.
biased. The judiciary has been hijacked. That's what I see.
Now, there was an example that somebody gave, that during IBB's time,
Mm-hmm.
as Babangida's time as the president, the Chief Justice of the Federation, Justice Mohammed Bello, received a Mercedes-Benz gift from the president, and then everybody was
It
complaining
looks
that
bad.
it's going
Yes.
to it's questionable. Like, yeah, it does look bad, but well, presently, you have some wicked FCT
Mansions.
minister building
Mm-hmm.
houses for all
Mansions.
these judges,
Yes.
giving them
And it's their
expensive
houses to
cars.
keep.
So,
They're not even saying that they'll just
in
stay
you know,
there and
we
then when they leave, they go. It's like
Yeah.
they've given them the houses for life.
No, 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 no.
It should not
For
even be
life.
allowed.
Yes.
So that's the problem to begin with. So when we're talking about hijacking of state, yes, it's very possible because the system does not want to change. Because if
It
the
is.
system wants to change, it can be done. It's in black and white. It's in print. If the people
So
demand from lawmakers, this is what it needs to be, this is what it needs
the
to be from the
people, the
legislature.
people.
Because many people do not even know their senators, they do not know their House of Rep members. If you ask most Nigerians now, they barely can even tell you who their governor is and who their local representatives are, who are the state of assembly members. They don't even know. And this matter because this is the laws that are governing where you are,
That's
your
true.
locality. In the federal level, these are the laws that are, yes.
There is a
So we can
disconnect.
go on and on and on and on about this, but you know
There
how
is
it
a
is. We
serious
never have enough
disconnect.
time to cover up all of these matters. So
Yep.
we're gonna leave it at that
Yeah.
point, and we need you guys to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell us your what you think about this state police matter.
Yes.
What do you think about the
Your
rescue efforts
views,
of our
yeah, your
security personnel
opinions.
on the Oyo's students and teachers that were kidnapped? What do you think about it? What do you think about all those other ones that have been
Yeah,
kidnapped that
and
haven't been rescued
whatnot.
yet? Give us your opinion. Let us know. Like, we're conversating. We care deeply about the country. So we want to stir up these conversations, among the youth. Let's know what you guys think and, keep up with us. I'm Mo Kali, Niger TV podcast from Los Angeles,
Yeah.
California.
Yeah, Yusuf on Mokali Niger TV podcast from KD, Nigeria. Have a good day. Don't forget to like, share, and send your inputs, comments. Thank you.
Peace.